So just give me. Okay, so my name is Benny Martin, and I'm going to be doing a training today on events, and I'm going to cover two kinds of events. So obviously we have online, and online is fabulous. And I also love in-person events. So I'm going to talk about two. The first one is I've been getting a lot of questions about if you have the opportunity to go to some sort of event where you have a table, whether that be sort of like a trade show or maybe a craft sale, or, there's all kinds of different places that you could have a table for your business. I have tried so many different things in my 8 years in the business of direct sales. But sometimes when we want to sort of expand our network, we want to do an event where we're going to meet people that we don't know. So I have a few tips for that kind of event. I actually have one coming up a bit later in a few months from now, and I did a couple last year. And there's a few things. So one is I use draw slips. I have a little clipboard that I use, and I do draw slips and I draw for a prize. So you could make the prize whatever you want it to be. Usually I make it cash value, and they can choose to spend that on your website. So maybe you decide to give, like I'd recommend one product if you're doing sort of an all-day event, and say I'm doing a draw for a free product. So they could pick a bottle of Glow and Enrich, but then they'll likely go to your website and choose more than one thing. So that's, first of all, how I like to do prizes if I'm at an event. And then I'm going to actually pull up, share my screen, and show you the draw slip that I use. You can also use this at a customer event, or if you're having a grand opening in your home or a team event. And this is why I love to use this draw slip. So for example, if you're at, say, your kid's school has a craft fair and you're there for an entire day, or you go to a health show, or you go to a gym show or something like that, and you're there for like 8 hours meeting people. First of all, people love freebies, so they're going to enter the draw, but it's all about the connection that you make with people. So this draw slip, and here's my first tip, even if it's a guest event with your team, is I always fill it out for them. So usually if people are at an event, they have things in their hands, a purse. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fill out the form for you. And that way you get to really have the conversation with them. So I'm going to show you guys I'm just going to share my screen here. Okay. Okay, so here is my draw slip that I use. You can see here, and if you want it, just comment below and I can send it to you. It's just a Google Doc, and then you can copy it and change it for your events. This is one I did for I did a couple health shows last year. So I always like to tell people, what's your name? And then what's your preferred method of communication? Most people text now. And then here is the biggest question. What is your biggest challenge that you have with your health? Is it digestion, gut health, energy, pain, mental health? You can kind of change these questions, hormone health, whatever you want it to be. And then that's where your conversation goes. So for example, if you were at, say you had a table at your kid's school and you were just there to promote your business, and somebody said, I really struggle with gut health. Now you're having a conversation with them. I always do a pudding demo and have it sitting on the table so I can show them the Enrich, show them I have one pudding that's normal, one pudding with the Enrich, or if you want, you could do the pudding demo for them right there. Or you can have your laptop and show the pudding demo to people if they have gut health. I always have before and after photos of myself so I can show people my Glow results as well. If they say something like pain, I'll share about my results with the Glow. And that's your conversation. So this is where it kind of starts. And then I always ask if they'd like to come to a health overview to find out more about our products, and would they like any information about the business opportunity. That is the draw slip, but really it's all about quality over quantity. So if you are at an event and you have 100 strangers come by, I personally would much rather have 10 quality conversations with people than get 100 people's phone numbers or information. Now, I know this is not for everyone, so I'm going to go over a different kind of event in a minute, but I have had a few people say, I'm doing an event at a gym, I'm doing an event at my kid's school, or, they've have a table at some sort of event like that. So this is what I like to do. Now, here is my trick. I fill out the form for them. As soon as they walk away, I flip it over and I write down any notes from that person. So I do this quite a bit because you think you're going to remember who people are and you often don't. So I'll just use an example. I'll say, mom has a daughter who has gut health issues, short blonde hair, anything you can do to jog your memory of who that person was. So when you're following up with that person, you can say, oh my gosh, Suzanne, it was so nice meeting you today and hearing you share about your daughter. And I'm so excited. I have a health talk coming up. I would love for you to come and hear more about how we could help with that. So it just gives you more of that relationship with that person. And then the other tip I have for you is when you can make a connection in that moment, do it then. So for example, if I'm talking to Susan and she says, oh my goodness, yes, my daughter struggles with gut health. We've tried this, we've tried this. I'm said, oh my goodness, Susan, I'm going to send you a pudding demo right now with some information about how the Enrich works. I would text it to her right there. Now you are communicating with her. So anytime you can send somebody something in that moment, the better, right? A lot of people say, do you have business cards? I'll say, oh my gosh, let me put my phone number in right now and then send yourself a message from their phone. I do that even with moms at school for play dates. So these are skills you can use in other areas of your life. But once again, it is quality relationships that you're building over quantity. Okay. My next tip is if you, for example, are set up at a school or a show or something like that, you want to go around, have a helper. So bring your bring one of your team members with you. For me, I bring Trent, another team member, and then make sure you're going around and getting interested in the other people there and sharing with them. So I'm just going to share that last year we did a health show here in Victoria, and there was a woman across the way who I could tell that she was having trouble with her digestion. And we had been chatting throughout the weekend. So I went over and I said, oh my gosh, do you want to try some Enrich? She said, oh yeah, I always get like heartburn after I eat. She tried the Enrich, loved the Enrich. So when you build relationships with the people beside you, with the people that are in that, sometimes they can be the best relationships. So about 4 years ago in my previous company, I was at the tiniest little craft show in a church, and I met 2 team members that were there selling their various products. So one of the people there were selling their products to get rid of them because they were going out of business, and then they became part of my previous company. So once again, I mean, it's all same, but different. It really is all about the relationships that you're building. And then once again, try and communicate right away, because the more time that passes, especially if it's somebody you don't know, the more you're going to forget and the less present it's going to be. So for example, if someone texts me right away about a play date for this weekend, it's right there in my phone. I'm going to do it. Same thing with your business. If you're talking to somebody and they're curious about collagen or something like that, the sooner that you can provide that information and make that connection with them, the better. And for me, I love to do it over text or on Facebook, because now they're in your circle. Okay, so those are a few of my ideas for in-person events, and keep it simple. Absolutely keep it simple, you guys. And then I just wanted to talk briefly about other kinds of events you can have. So in-person events for me are all about creating that community and connection. So, a few of the things that I have done before are customer appreciations, grand openings. You could do a launch of a new product that is coming out, and really, it's all about for me, it's all about celebrating your business and the people supporting your business. So I like to make up little gift bags for the first 5 people, or you can have little treats. Our protein powder, you can make little protein balls. You can do, we've made protein brownies before. You can do a giveaway, even if the giveaway is like $5 off your next order for the first 5 people who show up, it can be really worth the investment. And that is the thing that I find with most people is if you have any sort of incentive to be there, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be big. It can be very small. Um, Sometimes I make up little gift bags and I'll just put one Mojo sample in, and maybe you can buy things off of Amazon that are like inspirational cards or something like that, and you can throw one of those in. I love these ones that pop open and they have like inspirational quotes on them. Just a little something for people to come and be celebrated and really make those connections and build that community. So once again, these are some of the things that I do for my events. So if you're wanting to have like an open house in your home, and maybe a nice way to increase your numbers is also to have extra draw tickets for when people bring a guest with them. So maybe they bring their best friend or their neighbor or something like that, and then you're expanding your community. So I've done this before. Also, team members, you can get your team members to bring people they know. We've had socials in our backyard. Trent and I did one in the spring where we actually had to put up an umbrella, like one of those big tents, because it was raining that day. And we just went around and people shared their favorite product. We had very simple food, and it was just a great way to gather. I've done glow gathers where we just like kind of get together and I make a picture of zest in the summer and have it kind of like a come and go. I have a son who is 8 years old, so when I have events, his job is to be the host. So if there's kids, he takes them to play. When people come, he always makes sure that they have a drink, things like that. So you can get your family involved, make it a lot of fun. So really quick, but I wanted to just jump on. Oh, sorry, I'm still sharing my screen here. I just wanted to jump on, give a few tips about events and the value of them. Now, I know we do a lot virtually on Zoom and on Facebook and social media, but there's something about building that connection and community. A shout out, a lot of my team is on the Atlantic coast, and they are just awesome at having those kitchen party type gatherings. And I think there's a lot of value to that. So let me know if you would like my Google Doc with my questions, if you're having an event. And it's my challenge to you. I always tell people when you're launching your business, the best way you can have success is to do it 3 kinds of ways: Facebook Live, Zoom, and in person. And if you do all those 3, then you're going to catch different kinds of people, and you're going to grow your business in different kinds of ways. So those are my tips. Happy Friday, everybody. Bye.